I'm hearing is that Alexis Sanchez did more with less
Or
resources than Hazard.
that's the but it's not that simple. You are looking for a very simple excuse to a very complicated thing. It's not
It's
that
not
simple.
complicated, bro.
Everyone
Rebel,
if you want
is
if you
it
want to
not
talk
that
about
simple? Rebel,
it
is
was
it not
so
that simple?
okay, first of all,
Let's
we all
ask
know
a
that
neutral. Let's ask a neutral his opinion. Is it
but
not that simple?
you have been able to explain the Sanchez Chile thing. I've just been able to touch the surface. I said that Belgium had too many superstars. First of all, Courtois took De Bruyne's babe. Let's not act like that didn't happen. Let's not act like as if that's not going to cause a lot of issues in the
And
national
Alexis
team.
was playing next to niggas like Vargas. Do you know who
Did
Vargas is? Name
Sanchez's
two teams
babe?
Vargas played for. Name two teams Vargas played for. No.
Did Vargas take? No, answer my question.
No, but Vargas isn't good at football. Vargas isn't good at football.
But that just shows the quality of the Copa America competition as a whole.
Yeah, the tournament with Prime Suarez, Prime Neymar, and Prime Messi all at once is bad.
Yeah, those are players in a team of 11 people. We'll talk about Paraguay.
All teams who were better than Chile on paper. All teams who were better than Chile on paper.
Talk about Bolivia.
Oh,
talk about
Jake,
what about
Uruguay,
Colombia, Chile, Brazil, Argentina?
No. Yo, I'm gonna end it right now.
All teams in the tournament are not on. They are not above average. They are very poor. So that
how many teams, JK? How many teams in the World Cup 2018, for example, on paper, how many teams are actually better than?
Yeah, but then that's a complete.
And even in terms of performance, no. Okay, let me restate the question. Let me
give my opinion from a neutral standpoint.
You are taking a continent.
Yo, JK, Conrad, mute up, bro. Both of y'all mute up. Talk, Robel, bro.
Look, I feel like JK. Here's the one thing I would say, right? If we're talking about from an all-time standpoint, there's a very good conversation between Alexis Sanchez and Hazard, especially because there's international career that comes into play, right? And if you're going to bring up the fact that Copa America is not that important and all that, just because it's a weak competition, but your excuse for Hazard not doing well is because he had too many superstars. Like you're saying, oh yeah, he didn't do well in the top stages is because he had too many good players on his team, which is just ridiculous. Because if you're saying
JK, that before you unmute, I'm gonna say something next too. I'm just letting you know.
If you're gonna say that, oh well, he just played for a bad team and he played for a bad continent, and he just played. First of all, every time Hazard got knocked out, right? When he got knocked out with Brazil, he got knocked out to a very good team, very solid team, right? Alexis Sanchez played in Chile in a bad team and knocked out Argentina twice. He beat Argentina twice at the end of the day, right? You give him credit for that. You cannot talk about Copa America. It's not a good competition because of Paraguay, Bolivia, and all that. There's still highly quality teams in Argentina, Brazil, Colombia, who competed in World Cups, who've won World Cups, and who have superstar players that he had to overcome to beat. So you have to give him credit for that. Not to mention, Alexis Sanchez also played for Barcelona. This guy was winning leagues, starting with Messi. He was a quality player to start for Barcelona, right? There's a conversation between Alexis Sanchez and Hazard. Let's not act like there's not. Hazard essentially did fail, and he failed in the national stage. His team was ranked number 1 in going into the 2018 World Cup, and he got knocked out. It's as simple as that. Even though he played well, he essentially was an essential part of his team, but he got knocked out. While Alexis Sanchez in a bad team in a tournament where it means a lot for his national team, and not to mention, it was also the 100th year of the Copa America. He knocked one of the greatest player to ever play the sport. He beat him in that. You give him credit for that. You give him credit for his time at Arsenal. You give him credit for his time. I mean, at Man U, he wasn't that good, but he still had moments there. And you give him credit. But
that's Man U, bro.
Yeah, but you give him his credit at Barcelona. He was amazing there, right? His times, his moments in Clásicos, his moments in Champions Leagues, he had it. Like he was an outstanding player. And I get your argument. I see your argument. But I just don't want you to be discrediting the Copa America and saying that it's a weak tournament, because that's just essentially the argument that Ronaldo fans will use to saying, oh yeah, Messi is not Messi's Copa America is insignificant because of the teams that he
Yes,
has to play.
yes.
So, like,
And Robel,
it's not. You can't use that argument in any scenario, in any competition, whether that's AFCON, right? AFCON. Sadio Mane winning the AFCON is a major thing, and you'll have European players, and you have European like you have
pundits.
You have Gallagher.
Jimmy Carragher.
He's an idiot. You'll tell him. This guy will tell you that the AFCON is not a major tournament just because of the teams that's in there. But to Senegal, but to Mane, and to players like Salah, it's a big thing. It's a big tournament, and you give them credit.
Just them, to the world, to everybody outside of Europe.
Fan, you can't disrespect a continent's major tournament.
Literally,
no matter what.
Think, Robert.
Like,
that's exactly what I was gonna say. I was gonna say, you're coming off. What you say? You coming off sounding like Jamie Carragher, bro. And I promise you, that's not a fucking look you want, bro.
We have to. You
fucking bum.
You have to give
Jimmy
credit
Carragher,
to major tournaments. No matter what, you give credit to major tournaments. Whether you think you believe that it's a bad one or no. To the fans there, to the people that live there, in general, right?
No, because bro, what you're arguing, what you were essentially arguing was that losing. Like, Robert, my thing is like, it's like JK was arguing losing a World Cup in the semifinals or quarterfinals and losing a fucking Euros is more valuable than winning a Copa or AFCON. What are we talking about?
Yeah, like, you just have to give credit. Like, you give credit. You give credit to Alexis Sanchez. It means for his club, for his team, like for the coaches. That's my only argument.
Can everyone mute now? Can I talk?
Yeah, you can talk. But my only argument, JK, like you have a good argument between Hazard and Sanchez. Just don't discredit Sanchez's Copa Americas. Like, don't do that. Like, respect the tournament, respect the people, respect the coaches, respect the players. Just simple as that.
First of all, I never said Copa America is a bad tournament. I never said it was one. I never said it wasn't a major tournament. That is not what I said. I said that majority, which may sound bad, but I said that majority of the teams that, like, if you look at the South American teams, superpowers like Argentina, Brazil, and if we're talking about right now as we are today, those are the only like superpower teams. Like, you can probably say Uruguay, but then we know Uruguay haven't played well for a long time. With like Chile haven't played well for a long time, and Colombia is also very good. Yeah, Colombia is also very good. What I was saying, my own basic argument was that I wanted to argue for Hazard and why he didn't achieve a lot with Belgium, but then Conrad kept on dragging the argument back to Alexis Sanchez, back to his two Copa, his two Copa Americas are great, but in the 2015 Copa America, he didn't score any goals. He didn't score any assists. He didn't get any assists. You can check, you can look it up. It was in the next Copa America, he had 3 goals, 2 assists, 1 player of the tournament, scored the winning penalty in the final. Yeah, but in that first one he won, he didn't win it for his country. He only played 1 game, 0 goals, 0 assists, didn't do anything. So I just wanted to put that out there. But it is still very important to recognize the fact that he did win a major tournament twice, and then his country got that. Why Hazard didn't win for Belgium? We are acting like as if we didn't grow up during this era. Why? As if we don't understand why he didn't win. First of all, there was a lot of none of it. Like, it's the same reason why England didn't win anything. None of the teammates were really friends. And then when you say that, okay, Hazard in the Belgium, and then he got knocked out with Belgium. So, we can all agree that Hazard was no chill. We can all agree that up to the point where Hazard got knocked out, Hazard was the best player in the World Cup.
Can I ask you a question?
So it's not like as if obviously being the best player at a World Cup where you get knocked out is not better than winning a trophy with your country.
Okay.
That is
no, but can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question on something you said about a minute ago?
I'm being questioned.
I understand that Belgium didn't have chemistry, as you put it, similar to England, and that's why they didn't win, correct? Mm-hmm. But that's not something you're like, oh, okay, it's not their fault. Like, I'll let that slide. That's on the players. Like, y'all not putting your personal things to the side to win for your country. That's a negative, not something that I'm just gonna let slide. You know what I mean?
No, I'm not saying I'm letting it slide. I'm bringing out.
It's not on Hazard. It's not only on Hazard.
I'm just bringing out reasons why, because they had Witsu, they had Vertonghen.
No, they had arguably a top 5, top 3 team in the
Lukaku, Chadley, Hazard, Jan
Mertens,
they had all the
Martins.
players. Exactly. But
Yeah,
like this
didn't
was
they
their
have
golden
a Hazard's
generation.
brother, Targan
Yeah,
Hazard?
this was their golden generation. But
Bro.
then with that amount of good players, like, imagine if
Can I-
Arsenal, Conrad, imagine if Arsenal had all the best players in the world. Do you think you win something?
Yeah.
Had all the best players in the world.
I mean, do you mean like all the best players?
Yeah,
in the
like
world?
imagine
Okay,
they put
okay.
Mbappe. Like that's
Okay,
what I'm
okay,
saying.
okay. I get what you're
they had
saying.
a top 5 player in the world in every position, or a top 10.
I get what you're saying. That's true.
No. I disagree with that statement.
Top 5 in every position?
Think about it.
Damn near,
Go back to
damn
2018.
near.
Go back to 2018 and look at Belgium.
Let me give my reasons.
The team is
Go back to Belgium and look
Okay,
at
but
their
if that's the
starting
case,
XL.
then if that's the case, we can say look at Spain 2010, look at Germany 2014.
I don't think they
we
had
can
the
say
best
the same
player. I don't
thing.
think they had a top 10.
Oh no,
players
I
in the
agree.
world.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Let me answer JK, please.
Go
So
ahead.
what I'm trying to say is that Alexis Sanchez and Eden Hazard, if we're talking about Premier League legacy, it's not comparable. The only thing that's comparable, the only thing that the Premier League added to Alexis Sanchez's legacy is that I can see, if we're talking about level and what they could achieve on the football pitch potentially in the same league, against the same comp, against the same defenders, against the same systems, against the same tactical setups, Alexis Sanchez was able to match Hazard's output and do even better with worse help. My point is that the same way you can put it against Alexis Sanchez for not being successful with Arsenal because his team wasn't good enough to be competitive, you can do it for Hazard. So it cancels it out. But if we're talking about peak in terms of numbers and what they achieve, they match each other. And at the international level, with a worse team and less odds of winning, Alexis Sanchez went out and won 2 major trophies. Hazard has 0. I'm not even saying Alexis Sanchez is better for real. Like, Hazard is more gifted than Sanchez. I'll say.
That's debatable. But that's debatable for me. That's debatable for me.
It's debatable. I'd give it to Hazard. Can I for you to tell me, hold on, no. But for you to tell me that, there is nothing that Alexis Sanchez compares to Hazard into, that's just ignorant and false.
I don't you obviously internationally Sanchez trumps him.
Even in terms of on the pitch too, on the ability too.
Not true, because we are talking about, okay, Sanchez had no help when he was in Arsenal. Calm. Hazard was 18 years old, carried Lille to win it. They carried Lille to win a domestic. No, you can't just roll your eyes at that, Conrad.
True.
He carried Lille to a domestic double, one Ligue 1 player of the season and Ligue 1 young player of the season. So like we're not like Hazard has also had his own fair share of some carry jobs. I'm just like obviously like okay, chill. What now? I just want to ask 2 questions, then I can leave this to Xavier. So so with Hazard's crazy PL like winning and his legacy in PL, and then Sanchez's crazy international legacy, do you think that Sanchez's international legacy without domestics, without his crazy like domestic success, although he won with Barcelona, do you think that put him on the same level as Hazard?
I think Hazard could be slightly above him, but I think they're at the same table. I don't think Hazard clears Sanchez all the time. I think that's a narrative that you're pushing where you're just not giving the Copa America the weight it should be held at.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
Like can I? Okay, for me.
So there's a second question. So if it was reversed, if Hazard had won like 2 Euros but didn't have a crazy career with Chelsea, but then Arsenal won, but then Alexis Sanchez had the Premier League career that Hazard had.
Yeah.
His career, would Hazard be on the same level as?
Hazard would have been a top 5 favorite player of mine of all time.
Yeah, bro.
Because up until 2015, 2016, Hazard was right below Neymar for me. Like, that's how close it was.
So if Hazard had 2 Euros but did not have a good career with Chelsea, his legacy would arguably be better. Is that
Yeah.
in a way?
It would be in the same realm of legacy.
It'd be better. It'd be better. How would it not be better, bro?
It'd be slightly
We're
better.
talking about international football. We're talking about winning 2 trophies.
Yes, but he's talking about nothing club level. Nothing.
I'm saying like that. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Nothing is different, but Alexis doesn't have nothing club.
No, but that's what he's saying. Like he's saying, put that.
I'm not talking about Alexis. I'm just saying like he didn't.
I get what
he's asking about Hazard's personally.
All right, Xavier.
He just had 2 euros.
Xavier, conclude this and then let's finish the draft. So
to wrap it up, to start, I'm just gonna give my opinion on the conversation. I think that Hazard is right above Alexis in the all-time list. I think they sit at the same table. But in terms of ability, I did not like that you guys made it seem like Hazard was clear of Alexis.
I didn't say clear. I said he's better.
Oh, I said make it
mean clear.
I don't think it's something that's just clear cut. Like when we're talking ability on the pitch, like obviously Hazard is a better dribbler. You know, Hazard is a definitely better dribbler, has better control. But I don't think the gap is insane. Like I think Alexis Sanchez is still one of the better dribblers and the better ball controllers of all time. In terms of finishing and instinct in front of goal, I think Alexis Sanchez got that personally.
I think Hazard's a better playmaker too.
I think the playmaking part, I think Hazard got that, but again, very not crazy. Because I think Barca playing for. I don't think it's a big gap. And you know what I think is the biggest gap is defensive effort and defensive work rate. I think Alexis Sanchez works hard, and Alexis Sanchez can play more positions than Hazard can play. I think that's also valuable. But another thing I was gonna say, I think when you go throughout their careers,
Hazard has played as an attacking midfielder, a right winger, and a left winger in his career.
So has Alexis, but Alexis has played striker. He's played center forward. He's played right winger. He's played left winger. He's played cam.
Well, Alexis Sanchez didn't play as a striker.
He played as striker at times. He played as a striker at Inter.
He played as striker at Barca sometimes. Yes,
he played as a striker at Inter too. He played as a striker at Inter, bro, with Lautaro.
When he left. No, the strikers at Inter were Lukaku and Lautaro. He didn't play as a striker.
Bro, he didn't start. I'm saying he
didn't start. I'm not saying he was. I'm saying he's played that position.
He can play striker. He can play as striker.
He can play striker, but I'm saying that when he did play up top, he played as a center.
So you think Hazard is a more versatile player than Alexis
I don't think so.
I didn't say that. I'm just saying that he.
No, Hazard is very versatile as well. Yes. Yeah, but again, the main thing I wanted to go over was like if you go over their club history, like Hazard, it's Lille, Chelsea, and Madrid. For Alexis, he started in Cobreloa, I think is the name of the Chile club. He played for Udinese. He played a little bit. He had loans in Argentina. He played for Inter, Man United, and Arsenal. I think when you compare the performances at both club levels overall at the career, it's neck and neck. I don't think.
It's not neck and neck.
I think when I'm talking about performance, I'm not talking about awards. I'm talking about performance on the pitch. I think throughout their careers, it's neck and neck. When you look at overall, that's all I'm saying. So I don't think there's a huge gap between the two. That's my take.
We all think Hazard is better. We all agree that Hazard is better. We just think it's not that you can't say it's not comparable. You can't niggas love to act like Arsenal fans are begging it, bro. We're not, bro. We know what we saw. Alexis is the best player I've ever seen play for my football club with my eyes as an Arsenal fan. I've never seen Thierry Henry play. I've never seen Birkin play. I've never seen a better player than Alexis Sanchez in an Arsenal kit. Never.
I
disagree.
I think one of the things before Robel quickly, I just want to quickly say, I think a clear what's the word? Anyone like most people, like we would admit that when Hazard was playing, Hazard, although he didn't have that defensive contributions, Hazard could definitely his impact on a game was far beyond anything that goals and assists could possibly like.
Yes.
Like what's the word? Goals and assists. Like Hazard could always play a game. Hazard wouldn't score. He wouldn't assist. But then anyone who watched the game will say that Hazard is the best player. But I think that nowadays something like that isn't holding as much weight as it should.
I mean,
like for example, Hazard. So anyone like for example, if you ask any Chelsea fan around my age, they'll tell you that the peak Hazard that they experienced was the 18-19 season. And the 18-19 season, I don't think he even scored 20 Premier League goals. But then they won't be able to explain it to you in a way of stats. They're going to explain it to you in a way of
impacts your team winning. I 100% agree.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. And I feel like that should hold a lot of weight, but then there are a lot of things, there are a lot of other factors that go into like, okay, does he have better teammates than
No,
Sanchez?
yes,
Is
bro.
the club better run
GA
than
GA
Arsenal?
ruined
You know?
football.
And that's the
GA
thing
ruined
too.
football.
Yeah, yeah, that's the thing. So like when it comes down to it, even though Hazard overall in his career has more goals and assists than Sanchez, is that okay? When we're looking at their time in the Premier League, there were many times where Sanchez had more goals than him and all that. But then that's it's nowadays it's turning into like this type of excuse where it's like, okay, you're just trying to find an excuse for him that, oh yeah, he could impact games but he couldn't score and but he
No,
couldn't
yeah,
assist. But
I'm
that's
not
how
I'm
they
not gonna
are
talk about
nowadays.
Hazard like
And
that. I'm never
no,
gonna talk
the
about
problem, like, I don't. You were right. I think Hazard is a better player, right? I think Hazard is better than Sanchez. The only reason I had a problem with was just you talking about Copa America. Like, I just think it's just disingenuous to talk about like competition like that. That was my only problem. Like only problem with it. Um, I mean, I think Alex Sanchez. You can also put his longevity inside. This guy's still kicking ball. This guy's
facts,
still putting
bro.
up
This nigga's
performances
in
in
La Liga right
La
now.
Liga right
Another
now.
thing, I feel like
Um,
Alexis Sanchez is more pluggable than Hazard. Like into a team, like you can plug Sanchez into any team, whereas Hazard needs
No,
like
yeah,
I feel
yeah,
like
yeah.
he needs the team to be more catered to him than Alexis. Personally,
I don't think so. I don't think so.
in my opinion.
When he went to Madrid, it wasn't really catered to him, you know.
no, when he was in
Like, I,
Madrid,
but I
But
feel but I feel like
he didn't
because
do
of he
well. But he
retired.
didn't do well. But he
no,
didn't do
Yeah,
no.
well.
he
I
did.
mean,
Yeah, he didn't do well, but then the team wasn't. It wasn't like he was going there for the team to be key. He didn't do well because of he was getting injured. It's not
Yeah,
because
yeah,
of
yeah. True.
yeah. So it's like yeah,
Fair, fair.
yeah. I was about to say something else, but I have a question I wanted to ask, but then let's finish up the draft first because I think it's a
If you
very
want, no,
interesting.
you can ask it because I'm gonna have to make two
Yeah,
picks.
so it's like I wanted to ask, like in football, what is considered longevity? Like, so for example, now, if a player, most of the times, people think of longevity, their own vision of longevity is that a player is still doing it as they are old. But people don't really
That's
count
part of it.
in, people, yeah, people, that's what I'm saying, but people completely disregard players who did it when they were younger. For example, a
Yeah,
perfect example is the Salah and Hazard.
Yeah,
So when Salah was younger, he wasn't that good, but then he got better, and now he's still doing it when he's older. But then people completely disregard when Hazard was literally carrying Leo at the age of 16 to 19, then
yeah,
was
but that's because it was
carrying
in the
Chelsea.
that's because it was in
Yeah,
in League One. That's the only reason.
yeah, no, but there are all you can't lie. Most of the like, for example, people say that Neymar doesn't have longevity. This guy was carrying Santos. In this guy got nominated for the Ballon d'Or in the Brazilian league. People really like to like for if Yamal should retire at 30 now, people are going to completely I can bet people are going to
Act like
completely
he doesn't have
disregard
longevity.
what
Yeah.
so I'm like, what
no,
is actually what is longevity in like if
For
we're
me,
actually
yeah.
talking.
like
for
in
me,
reality, what I would say
word.
longevity is, right. I think the perfect example is Buffon, right? That guy from start of his career till he was 38, he was at the top level. He
No,
was
it's
not
41.
no, he was not no middleman. He didn't get old, and he was like the 12th best goalkeeper. No, he was arguably still the best. He was winning the best goalkeeper. Like, that's what I would consider
That's
longevity,
like
right?
peak longevity, in my opinion. That's like
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
like
the
he
best of the
was.
best
yeah,
longevity
yeah.
That's
ever. Yeah.
that's
Like
what
a
I,
guy
I
like
would consider
Milner,
what
a guy
longevity
like
is.
Milner, bro. Like
Yo,
Exactly,
Milner's
Milner is
That's
longevity is
gonna
yeah.
like
You call
Milner's gonna go
Milner
down as the
longevity.
most games played in
yeah,
prime
he's going
history.
to be
No,
the
That's what you call longevity. I would, I get what you're saying about Hazard. I mean, I get what you're saying about Salah, right? I wouldn't consider Salah as like longevity, but he was when he was at Florentier and coming all the way to Liverpool still now, right? That's a good 15 years right there,
but you
because
see,
Mhm.
he was at Liverpool for he was at
yeah,
Liverpool
true.
for 9 years,
there's
right?
two
10 years now,
different there's two different kinds of longevity,
yeah.
right?
Yeah,
There's
sure.
longevity in terms of how long you spent at your peak, period, right?
Yeah.
So, in my opinion, if you don't have at least 5 years of a peak, you don't have longevity peak wise. It has to be like 5 to 10 years of being peak is insane. That's like Messi, Ronaldo stuff. But for regular players, bro, if you've been at your peak for 5 years, that's longevity.
Yeah.
For half a decade at your peak, that's when you start entering that conversation. But there's another level of longevity when we're talking about like how many games can you play? How long have you been injured? How long have you been active? Health. Health is the best thing. So, like, if a player has been playing for 20 years, 15 years, bro, I don't care if he hasn't been at the peak level. That's a sign of longevity there. You can value that. Look at James Miller, like we were mentioning. You know what I mean?
That's a big part of it. It's an adaptation, being able to adapt to different roles at different parts of your career. Like a guy like Ronaldinho, bro. Ronaldinho went from being the best player in the world to like having a role at AC Milan, and he still did his role. Like he was pinging balls. He didn't have as much freedom, but every time he got the ball, he did something. You know what I mean? Like there's different sides.
In as much as I definitely agree with what you guys are saying, I just feel like the stigma around that word, the stigma around that word longevity is like, for example, like someone would say Casemiro has longevity because of he has been doing it at the top level for a while. But then someone will say someone like if I told someone that Varane has longevity, they will say no, he doesn't have longevity. But this guy was
been playing since he was
but he's been playing since he was like 17. He was one of the best defenders in Ligue 1.
That's a great point. That's a great point.
Madrid, one of them. So I feel like people only rate longevity as long as they can see it in real time.
Yeah.
Like if Jamal Musiala doesn't continue playing by the time he's like 30, they'll probably say that okay, this guy didn't have longevity, but this guy.
I'll give you.
Yeah, I get what you mean. I feel like you. My bad.
No, go ahead, Rebel.
No, I feel like you think like we don't rate Hazard because like he went to Madrid.
No, that's not what I'm talking about. Because I've had this question on my mind for a while, but I just wanted to talk to someone about it.
Yeah, no, I think with anyone that watches football, right, someone who starts off young, peaked young, and like I got being at the top of football for 10 years, like that's a very, very long time. But I feel like some people are, I don't know, I feel like in our generation, right, we've seen Messi, we've seen players like Messi and Ronaldo where we've been spoiled by them for them to be playing until 38. It's like we think like that's just normal. Like that's standard for us to rate these players.
We don't even have to look at those players. We've been spoiled in general. Look at Angel Di Maria, bro.
Di Maria, Thiago Silva, Lewandowski.
Di Maria. What age do you guys think Di Maria joined Real Madrid?
I think he joined like when he was 26, 25.
He joined at 22.
Was it 25?
22.
And
he's been at Real Madrid since he was 22 years old, bro.
Like he was at Benfica, 2 seasons ago?
Yeah, and then now he's balling.
He won the World Cup. He won the World Cup fucking 4 years ago.
2022. Yeah, I think like again, like we have these all-timers who've been at like their peak for like, or not even at their peak, but who've been a part of like top level football for very, very long time. So like we think like it's just normal. Like it's normal for these players to be like that. I think these players who are at their peak for this long and have been playing for this long, one, it comes down to football evolving, right? We have better equipment, we have better ingredients, we have better food. Like I think people don't take evolution like as seriously in football. We have better equipment. The doctors are better. There's so much money in football right now. Players are getting paid a lot more. They're able to take care of themselves more. Like people are not like considering these things that kind of have.
Based off what you're saying, a nigga like Reece James. Like Reece James wouldn't have lasted 6 months in the world of football 20 years ago, bro.
Yeah, because there's just not that much equipment, that many doctors. There's not that much money in football.
Bro, not even. Bro, go back 8-9 years. Good look at a guy like Jack Wilshere, bro. If Jack Wilshere was in this era, Jack Wilshere would have had
Jack Wilshere. Shit.
Did you guys see this? Did you guys see this thing? Denzel Dumfries, the guy like broke his leg like 3 months ago. He's walking now.
Jason Tatum broke his ACL. He was walking after 2 months, bro. Like,
but it's not.
Bro, Jamal Musiala. I watched Jamal Musiala break his leg in July.
Hold on. Let me get an ISO right quick, bro. Kevin Durant, bro. It's the craziest injury recovery in all of sports. Period. KD tore his Achilles
and got better.
Better. He came back as good as, if not better than he was before. Before KD came back, there was only one player in the history of sports, which was a female basketball player that had came back from that injury, and she wasn't even a shadow of her former self. Like, bro, technology is insane now, bro. They're about to start putting AI in niggas' knees.
Fact. Just before we go back to the draft, to what JK was saying, like the biggest 2 victims that I would say of like people not really remembering what they were doing at a younger age and saying they fell off quick and being unfair to them is Rooney and Neymar, in my opinion. Because Rooney and Neymar fell off traditionally earlier than people at that level should. But Neymar was like the third best player in the world at 21 years old, bro.
Yo, you
It's
know
like what Xavier said about how normal football players, a peak of 5 years is crazy. So you look at someone like Neymar picked for like 10 years, I think.
Neymar picked for like 15 years, bro. From the age of 16 till he was like 26.
More like 12.
Let's say someone like Yamal, say from like when he was 16. Let's say he's still a baller by the time he's 20.
That's
And
like
then
4 years.
20.
That's 4 years, bro.
Let's say when he's 20, he's not playing well anymore. Guys are now just going to like say, okay, that's no longevity.
Yo, you know who else?
That's longevity.
We gotta do the draft.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you know who else people don't gets like loses value based on that longevity thing is Zlatan, bro. People don't talk about Zlatan's younger days at all.
True. That's
at
really
all, bro. At all.
Like R9, they don't talk about his younger days at all.
Facts.